In this video, I'm going to show you how to make this broken toy kalimba patch inside of Equator 2. Let's go ahead and get started by clicking New to initialize the patch. So I'm going to be using a wavetable. I'm going to come in here to the library and just type in kalimba. Choose the toy kalimba, and this is where we are. I'm going to boost up the unison and boost up the spread. It gives me a nice wide, thick sound. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to send this morph parameter to the LFO. So I'm just going to come in, LFO2 is fine. Let's bring it down to about 50% to start with. We can always come back in and change that later. And I'm going to change it from a sine wave to a triangle. And I'm going to bring the rate way down. The next thing I want to do is send that to the filter. LP12 is fine. And bring down the cutoff. And then I want that cutoff to be controlled by an envelope. So I'm going to come in here and send that to envelope 3. 100% sounds good for now. And let's just adjust the shape. And you can start to hear the percussive sound coming through after just doing those couple of steps. Another cool thing we can do is if we switch over to standard, we'll have the velocity curve at our disposal. I'm going to right click right here and send this to the velocity. And pull it down. And again, I'm just doing this quickly, but you can always come back in and fine tune these things. I'm also going to send the decay time to that as well. Velocity 1. But just a little bit less. Come back up to the wavetable here. Boost this up just a little bit more. That sounds good. Let's go ahead and add the second one here. And for this one, I'm going to be using a sample. If I come in here, and before I actually do that, I'm just going to play with this nylon guitar. Even that sounds pretty cool, but I got something a little bit better. I'm going to type in attack here. And choose the attack plate, bring up that volume. That's what that sounds like, but I'm actually going to boost that up an octave and pull this other one down an octave. And let's add one more here. I'm going to turn on the wavetable engine. I'm going to come in and sine wave is 5. I'm going to drop that down, -12. And pull down the level here, and pull down the level here as well. So at this point, we've got something that sounds pretty thick. It does sound pretty low in terms of volume. So what I can do is come in here, and first of all, big reverb. Always add the big reverb if you're doing something. I'm going to choose the preset big and washed out that I made for this particular patch. And we can also come in and just add a compressor, and that's just a quick way to go ahead and really bring up the volume of the sound. And let's jump down here into this envelope and sculpt out the sound a little bit more. Oh, much better. Just pulling down that decay time really helped sell the sound in terms of a mallet sound. And that sounded pretty good. I'm going to jump back into effects here, and I am going to add an EQ. And I do have a preset that's just going to help me boost the higher end frequency called boost around 107K. Great. And if I jump back into the synth, I'm going to come over here and activate this other sound engine and turn it on granular. Come into the menu and write Foley. And if I open up that folder and choose something like my favorite, bubble wrap. Let's solo that. And then come over here to routing. And instead of serial, I'm going to do parallel. I'm going to pull down filter 2 for all these. I'm going to pull down filter 1 for the granular. I'm going to turn on filter 1. And let's go from low pass to high pass. And now we've got some texture to deal with here. I can also send this to that same envelope that everything else is going to. So that'd be envelope 3. And once I pull down the volume, we're just going to get that little bit there towards the end. I am going to bring down the size here and maybe change the position. And you can hear how I'm just really adding upper frequency content and texture to the patch itself. I think it could come down even more. Maybe even more than that. And then we change the position to find something that sounds really good. And I'm even going to come down and pull it down even further, just to add that extra bit of character at the top. Let's see what it sounds like in the context of the track. I'm going to move this out of the way. And let's just listen to those 2 bars there. It sounded really good. The one other thing I want to show you before wrapping up this tutorial is that if you come into the wavetable here and play with the symmetry, you can actually really move it from a more acoustic sound to something more synthesized. It's just something I wanted to point out before wrapping up here. But that's how easy it is to get a nice mallet sound inside of Equator 2.